French weapons attack Russians again for the first time since 1855. This tank skillfully destroys enemy positions with its giant gun in one of the sections of the Ukrainian forefront. Sneaking up on huge wheels, this unique piece of military art takes the enemy by surprise. They have nothing to oppose such a power. Despite the fact that this monster is a black sheep on the battlefield and destroying its priority for the enemy, few have managed to do so. This is a credit to both the professionalism of the team and the unique characteristics of the French AMX-10RC. Although, in fact, it doesn't even fit the definition of a tank. But first things first. For 3 years now, Ukraine has been desperately fighting for its survival in the face of a huge threat. The superiority of Russia in all types of weapons is obvious. The fulminating mixture of a large army and imperial politics leads to inevitable losses. Nevertheless, Ukraine is bravely holding its ground and fighting back, with allies from around the world helping. Dozens of countries are donating hundreds of weapons, and France has not been left out. In 2023, a batch of modernized French AMX-10RCs arrived in service with the Ukrainian Marines. This vehicle did not become a puzzle for the crews, but proved its power on the battlefield from the very first days. But right now, the French tank showed everything it could do in front of the enemy and changed the course of the battle. Just look at what it can do. As I said, the AMX-10R is not a tank, it's a reconnaissance vehicle.
It's an armoured reconnaissance vehicle that truly packs a powerful punch.
The AMX-10RC has massive firepower that's unmatched by the Russian army. The 105mm cannon of this wheeled tank, in tandem with its incredible maneuverability, created many problems for the enemy on the battlefield. This gun allows the AMX to be used as a fire support vehicle in tank fighter. It skillfully maneuvers through both country lanes and spring fields, while a giant heavy Russian tank tries to catch it in its sights. The only other vehicle in its category to which the AMX is inferior is the Centauro II Italian wheeled tank.
This new version has a 120mm gun.
Its predecessor is the first wheeled anti-tank vehicle in the world, with an 8x8 wheel configuration and a high-pressure cannon. But the French model is now operating on the battlefield, so let's get back to the AMX. It's opposed by the most massive creation of the Russian army, the T-72. The gunner is panicking and trying to aim the gun at a wheeled, lightly armored tank. However, he loses in this duel because of the speed of the AMX and the accuracy of the French gun. But there's a vehicle that can surpass even this speed. Mobility is the most important part of the Japanese Komatsu Type 96 armored personnel carrier. It's powered by a 4-cylinder diesel engine with a capacity of 570 horsepower. The Komatsu is quite fast for its size and weight of 26 tons with a top speed of 62 miles per hour. Such a machine would not be out of place next to the AMX. It's also interesting to compare the French vehicle with the newest wheeled tank in the sector, the Taiwanese CM-32 Yunpao. The combat weight of this armored vehicle is about 22 tons, its length is 24 feet, and its width is 8 feet. The CM-32 is equipped with a 450 horsepower Caterpillar C9 diesel engine, which allows it to reach a top speed of 62 miles per hour. The vehicle has a range of 500 miles with this engine. The CM-32 is armed with a 20mm rapid-fire cannon. It's obvious that this representative is inferior to the AMX and proves the superiority of the French model on the battlefield. This advantage is already being felt by the Russian military, which did not even expect the AMX-10RC. An interesting fact is that this vehicle can float, which was an additional argument for the Ukrainian Marines to choose it. We don't know the facts about the use of its buoyancy, but the destruction of Russian positions on land is right in front of you. Accelerating to a maximum speed of 62 miles per hour, this tank can escape from artillery fire and Russian FPVs. When it gets as close as possible to the enemy, it deploys and aims its gun to show its power. Attention! Shot fired. A French projectile designed specifically for this tank flies out at the speed of sound. Wait a second. Hit. Reload. It's necessary to complete a combat mission as quickly as possible. Shot fired. The next projectile does not allow the enemy to raise its head to destroy the AMX-10 with a grenade launcher or anti-tank weapons. The victory in the battle is getting closer. The enemy is retreating. It's time for the wheeled tank to get out as well before it meets with artillery fire or a self-propelled artillery system with an accurate and powerful gun. After all, the strength of this machine in the context of the war in Ukraine is also a weakness. The wheelbase is very vulnerable to debris, and the armor does not withstand direct contact with enemy vehicles. That's why this tank is most often used from closed positions. But the Allies still have more to help. The US, UK, and Germany have all delivered M1A1 Abrams Challenger, the Leopard, to support the defense strategy of Kyiv. However, the French Leclerc remains absent from the war, and it is still needed. Its armor is a combination of Kevlar, ceramic, and steel. To increase survivability, the main electrical systems of the Leclerc were duplicated. In terms of armament, the French tank is also quite formidable. It's equipped with a 120mm smoothbore gun of .52 caliber, which can fire armor-piercing and high-explosive fragmentation shells.
It's about mobility. It's about some form of weapon, the firepower, and some form of protection.
The tank has an automatic 22-round loading system, which allows it to fire on the move at moving targets on rough terrain.
It's got that firepower and shock action as it's going forward as well. That really brings something new to the battlefield.
However, until this tank is available, the AMX-10RC has to show its maximum capabilities as the only representative of the French armored fleet in Ukraine. And it's doing well. The implications of using AMX are obvious. The firepower of the tank proves to be insurmountable, demonstrating its dominance in the face of challenges. Due to its weight, this model is easy to work from closed positions. When the tank's detected, a dozen shells will fly at the enemy, and the AMX will leave the scene. This tank was able to get as close to the enemy as possible and dodge its attacks. Most importantly, it saved the lives of the crew in heavy fighting. The enemy is retreating, and Ukrainian troops are gradually advancing. Despite the widespread belief that France and Germany were formerly loyal to Russia, the delivery of this machine indicates that Europe is finally breaking with the aggressor. The Empire fails to realize a single strategic goal thanks to the courage of the Ukrainian military using Western weapons, including the AMX. It quickly leaves the battlefield, and the enemy can only swallow the dust from under its wheels. Speed and firepower defeated the sluggish giant military machine of the Russia once again. In the overall situation, the presence of French tanks in Ukraine has a significant impact. French assistance strengthens the bilateral alliance between the two countries. The AMX has not only strengthened Ukrainian defense, but also sent a clear signal to the world about the capabilities of modern military equipment by showing the effectiveness of modernizing older weapons. Many countries send the latest weapons to test their effectiveness against a potential enemy. This is what the Swedes did with the Archer system. France still has something to surprise the aggressors from the east, so Ukrainians are waiting for new equipment supplies as the constant replenishment of the armed forces equipment fleets sends a clear signal to all authoritarian regimes. Many people may ask why France has become actively involved at all. As a reminder, on February 1st, Russian troops attacked Berislav, Kherson Oblast and dropped ammunition on two vehicles carrying representatives of the humanitarian center. The explosion killed 2 French citizens. 3 more French citizens sustained mine blast injuries and gunshot wounds. In addition, Russia accused France of sending militants to Ukraine. As a result, a group of trained soldiers of a special type of troops was sent to Ukraine, and they've already taken part in fierce battles, driving the best French tanks, Leclerc. This tank is the main combat vehicle of the French army. It's currently considered one of the most advanced machines in the world in terms of the number of automated electronic systems integrated into it. Sometimes it's even called a tank that does not need a crew. The Leclerc was devoted to replace the AMX-30 tank, which provided high mobility and small size, but had poor protection. In terms of its basic characteristics, the Leclerc is not greatly different from other Western tanks such as the Leopard 2, Challenger 2, and Abrams, and in general, it's on par with them.
It's about mobility. It's about some form of weapon, the firepower, and some form of protection.
The Leclerc is heavily armored and has powerful destructive capabilities due to the 120mm CN-120-26 gun, which can easily handle heavy enemy vehicles. Among the interesting features of Leclerc is the automatic loading of shells. This made it possible to reduce the crew to 3 people and significantly minimize the weight of the armor, which means that the mobility is increased. By the way, the weight of the tank was reduced by 7 tons so that the Leclerc can reach a speed of 44 miles per hour, while the Challenger can only reach 34 miles per hour. But there is a downside. The handling is a bit lame.
There is no suspension, no springs at all on the vehicle, so everywhere you go, you're going to be flung around the place all the time.
Ukrainian soldiers also used this tank, but they had to adapt to the unusual mobility of the Leclerc. As soon as the soldiers learned how to operate such powerful machinery, they began to train their shooting, because it's also non-standard. The tank has a lot of electronic equipment such as an automatic gunning system, a unique sight, built-in radar, and others. The large number of sophisticated electronic equipment affected the cost of the tank. Leclerc is considered one of the most expensive in the world. The cost of one vehicle was $9.3 million. In addition, at the end of 2022, France began modernizing 200 Leclerc tanks, according to which the vehicles will receive an updated fire control system and new electronics, which will increase the overall price even more.
It's got that firepower and shock action as it's going forward as well. That really brings something new to the battlefield.
But even in this configuration, French soldiers managed to destroy about 6 enemy tanks and 4 armored personnel carriers. This is a remarkable result in such a short period of time. At the same time, Belgium donated 240 Volvo military trucks as part of its assistance to Ukraine. Before sending the trucks, both parties agreed to equip them with a small addition. Among the trucks that arrived, there are both conventional vehicles and those equipped with cranes and tow trucks. But the most important addition is the trucks with armed Belgian soldiers who are ready to join the battle. The most precise sniper tanks and the most successful tank used by NATO troops were delivered with them. When we say sniper, we mean the most accurate tank in the world, the KF-51 produced by the Rheinmetall Company. Its gigantic 130mm smoothbore weapon looks like futuristic artillery from movies, and it shoots just as well. Its incredible accuracy has already become a legend. Rumor has it that it can hit enemy vehicles with a conventional shell from a distance of 4 miles. This is an absolute record at the moment. The Russian T-72 will certainly not be happy to be hit by this pretty machine, and its striking power is not inferior to the Challenger.
That's one of the many things that make the tank amazing, is the ability to move as much mass.
In an effort to turn the project into a versatile combat vehicle, German designers decided to equip the KF-51 with a launcher for Hero 120 drones. It's placed in the roof of the turret and allows up to 4 destructive drones to be launched in turn, and any crew member can control them. Hero is capable of hitting targets at a distance of 25 miles and independently determining the location of the enemy. The capabilities of this drone allow it to be used as a reconnaissance vehicle, but its main purpose is to destroy equipment and stationary objects.
You lock on the target, and then the munition dives and hit the target.
There's evidence that the KF-51 is a joint project of Germany and Sweden, and its accuracy is taken from the Swedish howitzer. The Archer is a self-propelled artillery system designed and manufactured by BAE Systems. It's a unique artillery system with high mobility and incredible accuracy. Thanks to the truck chassis, it has high maneuverability and the ability to move quickly on the battlefield, choosing the best position. When the position is found, a huge cannon that can fire guided missiles is used. It's in them that the strength of Archer lies. Like a real shooter, it marks its target and hits it with a single shot. This is exactly the kind of artillery that can be used to target tank crews by blowing them up from the inside. In addition to all of the above, Archer also has another firing mode in which the angle of inclination changes with each of the 3 shots. As a result, the entire deadly volley arrives at the same time. And as a bonus, Archer can fire at full speed, which allows it to minimize the risk of being detected by the enemy. Even if the wheels of the vehicle are damaged, as long as the inflation compressors and differential locks are working, the howitzer can move.
It's a life and death situation out there, and you absolutely want to be able to detect, recognize, identify the target, and engage that target before it has a chance to fire back at you.
The military of Ukraine and Belgium needed time to get used to these vehicles in military conditions. A new group of tankers was trained by NATO allies in Poland. The exercises lasted only 30 days instead of the usual several months. However, this didn't become a problem as most Ukrainian soldiers already have experience working on a tank. The entire program was held in several stages. At first it was theory, and then tasks close to combat conditions took place. We start with classroom theory, then move on to simulators and work on the basics. For example, starting the engine or some simple maneuvers, and then we move on to training on a real tank, training on the tactical strip, learning different tactics, including how to act during live fire, said Polish Army Captain Stefanowicz. But neither the KF-51 nor the Archer can match the striking power of the best NATO tank, the Abrams. It has the strongest 120mm cannon with a huge arsenal of shells, making it an extremely versatile weapon of war. It's equipped with landmines, cluster munitions, and even guided missile. The last one's a smaller version of the Excalibur projectile used for artillery. While conventional projectiles fly only 2 miles, after which they lose considerable accuracy, the Excalibur increases this figure threefold.
There's no tank out there that is more lethal, more maneuverable, more ability to provide shock effect on the battlefield.
The maximum accuracy and enormous combat power allows Abrams to destroy enemies from such a distance that they won't even be able to understand where they're being attacked from. With these projectiles, the tank can shoot down even Russian fighter jets. But how does it do it? It's all about the peculiarities of the current war. Ukraine has already received dozens of different air defense systems, most of which work very accurately and at great heights, but they have limitations. They cannot shoot down low-flying targets. Russian fighters have adapted to flying at low altitudes, and this is a great opportunity for Abrams to shoot them down. And finally, one more interesting fact, Abrams has a feedback system that measures the noise level in the cockpit and automatically adjusts the power of the main engine to reduce the noise level to an acceptable level for the crew. This makes it one of the quietest tanks in the world, reducing the likelihood of detection by the enemy and increasing the possibility of survival in combat conditions.
There's 1.4 million lines of code on this tank.
As you can see, Belgium, Sweden, France, and other European countries are trying to help Ukraine with equipment and battalions of their soldiers, and for good reason. All this is done to ensure that Kyiv can win a war with Russia without U.S. support. If Donald Trump comes to power in Washington, he may refuse to support it. According to government officials, Europe is desperately trying to increase its production capacity to be able to send weapons and ammunition to Ukraine to deter Russia for at least a year. Some senior officials in the British government believe that all that's needed to defeat Putin is time, and Europe should be ready to help Ukraine move forward. Even foreign troops that have arrived in Ukraine can be of great help in a war, closing wide defensive fronts or going on the offensive, gradually pushing the enemy out of the country. And this video's come to an end. If you liked it, feel free to like it and leave a comment so you'll help us understand in which direction we should develop the content. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!